The high drive, deep right center layback. Might be out of here. It's off the wall. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. A third man scores. Holy cow, the Cubs win.
This is Stuart McVicker at Club 400, and we always chill out here. Listen to the Gainin Fast on Memphis with Aaron Schreiber. Did I say that wrong again?
Welcome to the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Schreiber, brought to you by Arlo Revolution. Each week, Aaron connects melodies and memories with fans and artists from all genres of life. When all else in life is gone, only music will be left to leave the legacy of life's adventures. Please welcome your host for the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast, Aaron Schreiber.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Just gonna have a fun one tonight. Oh, I forgot to put our border on. Look at that. I'm all excited about this show. I forgot to put the border on. All right, we're gonna wait and try to get. Is that going again? I am. I'm gonna tell you, whenever I put your camera in the background, how does that go? All right, guys. Before we start off the show tonight, we're gonna make sure everything sounds good. We're always on a delay, so hey, what's up? We're a little early tonight, which I love. I kind of like this little 5 o'clock start. Did it stop? All right, now let's see if we can add your camera back, because we got to draw later on. So that's why I'm like, we got to have you on. Okay. Now let's see. You talk for a second and make sure everything's working before we start the show.
Okay, well, I got to take this off to here.
It's always our good first couple minutes of the show before we kick things off. Sound good?
Yep, we're good.
All right, guys. Welcome to season 4 of the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast. Each week, we connect melodies and memories with fans, artists, and passionate, driven individuals in and around the music community. I'm your host, Aaron Schreiber. Tonight, we are presented by our good friends over at Arlo Revolution, cinematic wedding films, music videos, and promos. You can find them at arlorevolution.com. And our 2 on-screen sponsors, Art on a Higher Wire by Joel, original custom artwork inspired by your life moments, treasured photos, and memories. You can find her all over Facebook. And then my good old buddy, Corey Oliphant, the original church choir. Awesome to have them each week. We do thank each and every one of our sponsors for continual support and growth. May was another amazing month. It's just awesome. I love the directions the show's been going. But if you guys are looking for ways to help support the show, we talk about it all the time. The heart of our show is our Patreon page. Tier start at just $1. We are looking for a couple more on-screen advertisers. If you have a business or anything you want to advertise, you can see your logo displayed on screen and in the show notes. So, but Patreon is something you can't do. The next best way to support the show, always like, share, review, and subscribe anywhere you can find us. Mainly if you're an iPhone user, hop on those Apple Podcast apps. Download a couple of the episodes, give us a 5-star review. That's kind of the best way to really support the show and help the show out, is hitting that up. So, but yeah, thank you guys for everything. If you guys are listening to this back though on any of the streaming episodes, I encourage you, Tuesday nights live, most of the time, Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. I don't know. I kind of like the little earlier start, but we bounce around a little times, but join us live because it's always a lot better. Yeah. All right. So we have a couple little fun things tonight before we start the show. Let's see. We are still working on getting Trey Lewis back on, but it's the beginning of the month. So that means it's time to draw a winner. So we are going to draw for our May winner for all of our Patreons. Anybody that is a private sponsor or up is automatically involved. Let's see. Let's get you back on here. All right. You got the bucket tonight. So who's winning the Dick Down in Dallas prize pack?
Do have the bucket. Okay. So see, the fun thing about the live shows, they get to watch all our bloopers.
Yeah, that's another good thing. I added them all out in the.
When you stream it, it's edited.
Yeah, everything's edited.
All right, the winner is Amy Jo Johnson.
Ooh, that's a good one. Show that up. Oh, you see it? It's kind of hard to see. I gotta print those up bigger. I say that every month, but I never do it. All right.
Trust me, it says Amy Jo Johnson.
Amy Jo, you won the Trey Lewis Dick Down in Dallas prize pack. I'll reach out to you and I'll get that over to you. And we are going to go ahead real quick and announce the June prize pack. And I'm going to go ahead and grab our guest tonight. Clayton Shay has a really cool pick and match prize pack on his website. So we're going to grab that as well as next week's guest, Charles Wright. If you don't know the name, you might know it if you're a wrestling fan, The Godfather or Papa Shango. He's coming on next week. So we have a Smoke Train t-shirt, and then as well, Kristen Kelly has a little bit of a Believe jewelry line. So we're going to grab a keychain of hers and throw in there as well. So it's going to be a really cool prize pack for June. I can't wait. But yeah, get over Patreon. Check it out. If you guys are a part of our Patreon tonight, you guys do know we have a quick little after show. Going to be a 2-song after show over on Patreon after this show ends. So yeah, I'm excited. All right. We're running a few minutes late, but that's all right. We'll make it up. We always have some fun. All right, guys. So tonight, I've been excited for this one for a while. I booked this one a couple months back, but it's been one I've been waiting for. We welcome in singer-songwriter Clayton Shay. He's from Gainin, Illinois, which is a small little cornfield town, but he's making waves in Nashville. I'm really proud of having our Illinois native on. So, but the way he paints pictures with lyrics is just top-notch. He almost reminds me of his writing styles, Eric Church's younger days, because just remember the lightning days when Eric you just sit there and you would picture it. If you've seen this guy's music videos with his lyrics, they're top notch. It's phenomenal. So if you guys haven't heard of Clayton yet, I promise you soon will, and you're going to be a fan after tonight. So we're going to go ahead and welcome Clayton Shay on in.
Guys.
There you are. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Dude, I'm excited.
Me too, man. This is fun.
We planned this a couple months back, and I've just been listening to your music, dude, nonstop. Since signing our man, dude. I stumbled across that music video, and that was the first time hearing of you. And it blew me away, dude. Just like I said in the intro, just the lyrics, because no one's ever touched anything like that. And we're gonna talk more about it, but dude, Illinois boy, I love
That's
it.
right. I didn't realize you guys were up in Illinois until we were chatting in the little pre-video thing.
Yeah, dude. So the name, I'm a huge Eric Church fan, and I used to live outside Memphis, and he has that little line in the song, "Can't Take It With You." Whenever he sang that song, he always pointed us out in the crowd. So I was like, hey, when I did the show, I was like, I gotta do it out for that.
I love that, man. That's
yeah,
awesome.
Dude. So
he's
look,
honestly one of the reasons why I got into country music. So you saying that about my songwriting means a lot. So I appreciate you.
I got that on the show notes too, because I always like to research and throw back. And really just on the artist. And I heard you, it was a little quick. Kind of funny when I grabbed that little line. I was like, hell yeah, I got something to talk to him about a little more. But you said Eric Church was an influence of yours.
Yeah.
And I love it. But let's throw it back before Eric Church, before all that. Your earliest musical memory, man, when you're running around the house, what was your parents listening to?
Man, I guess one of my first memories would be when I was really, really young. I remember my parents watching, like, it had to be like a CMT award or a CMA award or something, but it was Shania Twain.
Hell yeah.
And that was my first love, I'm pretty sure, that I ever experienced. So seeing her do her thing, I was like, you know, obviously it's a little bit different than what I wanted to do, but I think from that moment I was like, I want to be an entertainer and I want to touch people with lyrics and, you know, relate to them. But then from that, it was just like my grandma had this real old piano in her basement, and from the time I was like 4 or 5, I would just be down there messing around on it, and she would always support me, even though I'm sure a lot of times it wasn't enjoyable to listen to it. I was probably banging away on the piano, but yeah, she taught me a bunch, and from there I just kind of had the bug. And when I was really young, I always wanted to be like the center of attention, so I think that kind of plays into it a little bit. But it's less of that now and more of just like I really like, you know, sharing my artistry with people.
Hell yeah, man. So you were playing around. You went to, what is it, U of I, Bloomington?
I went to ISU.
ISU,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I always get.
Right.
I always get those confused.
Yep.
So going around what year were you going to school there?
So I graduated from high school in 2011, and I went to community college for 2 years. So it would have been 13 through 15. I graduated in 2015.
Yeah, I was around when church had out, dude. It was like Outsiders or so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a Coliseum in Bloomington, the U.S. Cellular Coliseum, that he would always come through and play at.
Wasn't it the one where they said he got drunk the night before and had that night? Yes, I remember that. There's still that rumor going around about that. He was like with Colt Ford, and Colt Ford went like downtown to play the show or something. And they said church got too hammered the night before. I honestly think what it was low ticket sales. I don't think the second night sold worth a damn. And I think they just ended up pulling the plug on it. And I think he knew that the night before, and he probably went out and got hammered.
Yeah.
Screw this. And yeah, I still know there's that huge. One of these days, I always tell everybody, like, when Church is like 60 years old, I want to interview him then. And I'm going to ask him that question, like, way back when he's like 40 years from now. I'm like, dude, what happened in Bloomington that night?
We got to know. The people need to know.
Yeah, right. So you were doing a lot of, well, you still do a lot of covers now, but coming up through Illinois, I mean, there really probably wasn't too much to play. I mean, you guys probably had like the same four or so central. Were you guys, how was your path like kind of coming up through when you start playing like live?
Yeah. So I want to say I was in my first band when I was 18. I found those guys at the community college I was going to in Canton, and we were like a funk rock band. But that was like my kind of my time when I was discovering country music. My dad always listened to it in the car, but I don't think he ever really like intentionally listened to it. It was just kind of like whatever was on, and that was just kind of the thing he flipped to. But yeah, around 18 was whenever I first was like, all right, like I like Zach Brown, I like Eric Church, and I was always trying to get my guys to play country music, but all the guys in my band didn't like country music, so I would like take set breaks and play a couple acoustics, and I'd do like Chicken Fried and the standards, like guys like me. But yeah, so it wasn't until like college that I got my first like country band, I guess.
Was
So
that the Clayton Shay band that you're in, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a club, I mentioned that Coliseum that was in Bloomington. There's a club just right down the road from it called Six Strings Club that I was in the house band in.
Okay.
The owner, Dave, was my guitar player. So we played every night that there was like a big arena show down the road. We'd always play that night because we knew we'd have a built-in crowd. We'd have 300-400 people in there. So
hell yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to think if I ever hung out in Bloomington. I always was going to, I think, Champaign, like the Canopy Club was where I used
Canopy
to go.
Club, City Center, yeah.
That's well, City Center. I saw. Well, I went. The last show that I was there was Tucker Beathard a few years ago. He played at City Center. That was pretty cool little place.
I love playing there.
You play out of Gloria too. That Cruisins a lot.
Yeah, Cruisins. Yep.
I haven't been out there, but I want to check that place out soon.
Cruisins is great, man. Wayne's the man. He's the owner. He also puts on Tailgate and Tall Boys in Peoria. So Wayne's a great guy. Good guy to know. There's a lot of great venues to play in Illinois. Kind of go under the radar sometimes, but yeah.
And I heard you were talking about Emerald Isle too, about trying to get up here and with Dave Canavan. We gotta get you back into him.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna talk to Dave soon. We gotta get you back up this way.
Yeah, I'd love that. We had a couple dates, I believe, about a year ago, but then obviously all the COVID stuff happened and it got canceled. But yeah, I'd love to.
But I just saw Chicago's going 100% soon. So
awesome. Yeah, I've also been in contact with like Ed Warm from with Bub City, and he's got Joe's and Windy City Smokeout and all that too.
We could sit here and talk about Ed forever. I mean, that dude's genius, dude. I'm gonna tell you, if you look up genius, you're gonna see Albert Einstein and then Ed, like because anything that dude touches always. He's the one who got on Church early on, dude. I remember being in church at Joe's in like 07, 08, and like 5 people, 10 people there. And the next time you go, there's like 50 people. It's like, oh shit, what's going on? But Ed still would always play into him, and he always played into the underground artists. And I love
that's awesome, man. Yeah.
So speaking of stuff like that, you got hooked up with Blackjack Billy over the time. You're still with them, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So how did you get hook up with them, meet them? Because I mean, they're a little bit like the outlaw, like outcast of the country music world, I would say, in a way, huh?
Yeah. So that club that I was in the house band at, Six Strings, the owner has been a big Blackjack Billy fan for a long time. And he showed me their stuff before they ever came around there. And he just happened to get them on the books one time. And it was like, hey, we should open for them. I was like, absolutely. If you haven't listened to their music, it's very much like party music, and it's really fun. Like rockabilly kind of. So we opened for them, and I got to talking with the guys afterwards, and the guitar player, Jeff, he actually developed Love and Theft, the duo, and wrote Angel Eyes with them.
It used to be a trio.
Yeah. So long story short, he actually casted them. Yeah, it was a trio, and then the third guy backed out. And,
Brian Bandis is actually a good buddy of mine, so talk to him. And he had to back out. I guess he went with family life, dude. And I understand his need of it, but
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, they were good as a trio. At least they are good.
But But yeah, so after I found that out, I was just like, all right, this is somebody I need to keep in contact with.
Yeah.
And so like 2 years went by, and I was coming down to Nashville visiting, and I'd meet up with Jeff and have a beer with him every once in a while. And the time came when I was like, all right, I'm pulling the trigger. I'm moving to Nashville, and I hit up Jeff, and I was like, hey, dude, let's grab a beer. Like I need to kind of dive into the scene. And he's just like, actually, you hit me up at a really good time. We need a bass player. He's like, I know you don't play bass, but do you want to learn? And he's like, I think you'd be a perfect fit. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I
Did you ever
moved
play
down.
bass the day before that?
What's that?
Did you ever play bass the day before that?
Never played bass, never sang harmonies.
All
Um,
right. Hell
Very
yeah.
intimidating thing to take on, because from the time I moved down here to the time we had our first show, which was in Denver with Midland, I had about a month to
Damn.
learn the set and learn how to play bass well enough to be convincing that I was a touring bass player. So, I mean, for that month, it was, 4 or 5 times a week, locking myself in a room for several hours a day, just figuring out how to do it.
Grinding.
And Jeff and I would get together at the studio, and we'd, rehearse for hours, sometimes three times a week. And playing bass isn't that hard. Singing harmonies isn't that hard, but doing both of them together is pretty hard. And I have a lot of respect for those guys that are the real deal. Like I call myself a fake bass player. Like I can get by. Like I know my parts and I can do my job with Blackjack Billy. You put me with anyone else, I'd kind of be lost. But I have a lot of respect for those guys that are
Oh,
the
yeah.
Broadway pros that can, hop
Yeah.
in with anybody.
Well, that's like you see these musicians for hire around Broadway and everything that can just jump in. They have the repertoire of like hundreds of songs to play. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
insane, dude. I don't know how. I mean, I know you play out down there a lot. I don't know how y'all do 3-4 hour sets and pull it off and this and that. But dude, you're not gonna be playing those sets much longer. I don't think these first 3 singles you're dropping. And I hear a rumor, if it's still true, you might have your first big label cut still coming.
Yeah, I don't know how you found that out, but that's impressive. Yeah.
I'm a huge Sean Stemley fan too.
Oh,
So,
nice.
so
Yeah.
I know he's working on some stuff, and heard that you were working with him a little bit.
Yeah,
So
that's it's a little on the DL, but I
yeah,
mean it's been it's one that we wrote, several years ago, and it's been a lot of hubbub around town about the song since we wrote it. So
yeah,
it's one of
dude.
those things that I've just been trying to keep myself grounded and not get my hopes too high, but got some pretty good news about it this year. So
Yeah, I went to Big Loud Raise Rowdy's event. They had a live oak a couple
oh
months.
nice.
So I was over there and was talking to him and everything. So, but
Yeah,
it's
I
great.
wanted to come out to that. I don't remember why I didn't make it out, but
Dude, it was phenomenal. Just I went to the last 3, even the one they had well, the last one, the Make Wake with Luke Combs. It was just
yeah.
phenomenal, dude.
Heck
To go
yeah,
out there and
man.
check all those out. But yeah, dude, I love those. I know you do a lot of those songwriter rounds too around
Yeah.
Nashville. To you, when you get a chance to do those, what do they mean to you? Because I see some of the bigger names and some of like the up and comers still do these, like the whiskey jams and the revivals and everything else. But I think they're a staple around Nashville, and I really think they're really important to the growth of the music. How do you see these things?
Yeah, so for me, I mean, there's really no better way to network than to do those types of events, the whiskey jams and the writers rounds, because you're going out to the place where the people who are doing the same thing you're doing are all accumulating. And that's what this whole thing is about. I mean, you can be the most talented person at what you do in this industry, and if you don't know people, then you're going to suffer. You're going to struggle for sure. So I'm very big about networking any chance I can. But something you said that was pretty interesting is that those bigger artists are still doing those, and I think what it is for them is it's a way for them to stay grounded. It's a way for them because they go out and they do these arena shows, and they're very what's the word I'm looking for? Just not personal. Like there's not a lot of connection. I've been fortunate enough to play one really big show. We played to 20,000 people, and when you're at those shows, like you don't realize it unless you're on stage, but the people are so far away from you. Like
Yeah,
there's no like real personal connection. They're still awesome shows.
yeah.
I mean, I'm still waiting for the next time I get to play to 20,000 people again, but
They'll happen.
it's an entirely different feel than playing to a whiskey jam when there's people within arm's reach of you, and
Yeah.
it might be 200 people, 300 people, but it feels like 20,000. Like it's because the room, just the energy from it. And I imagine if I ever get to a place where I'm like a big name or whatever, I'll still really enjoy doing those because it reminds you of why you do it, I guess. It takes you back to like how things started, and it's humbling, and that whole thing.
Now, with your first 3 singles you've already put out, have you tested any of those at any of these writers' rounds just to see how they've went or anything like that? I know that's kind of what they're about, is testing out new music in a way.
Definitely, yeah. My new thing, I've been trying to force myself to play new stuff more because that is what those are for. And my first Girl Like You is a different story, but I guess Sign Another Man for me was the writers round song that every time I played it, the room quieted, and it was one of those things. It was like an obvious choice that song had to get cut eventually, because if it has that effect on a writer's or on on a room full of people at a writers round, then it just made sense to me that it would translate to the general public. So it's a good, like you said, a good kind of like test driving your song and seeing how it connects with people and figuring out how to sing it differently. Because a lot of times, for me anyways, I'll write a song and then I'll forget about it for a few weeks or months or whatever, and I'll go back and I'll be like, oh man, I forgot about that song. That's really good. Like, I should try to play it out. And it's clunky with the first couple times you try it, and then it gets smoother, and then you either use it or you don't.
So speaking of like writing songs and everything else, I heard an interesting fact on one of the podcasts I was listening to you. And it said you wrote 170 songs before you cut one. I want to know, like, how. So what was the first one you cut then out of those 170?
So it's Girl Like You.
Okay.
I wrote that.
That was the first one that really stuck. You're like, okay, that's it? Or
well, I know that there were more before that. I'm a perfectionist with everything I do, and it's probably almost to a flaw. Like I waited way too long to cut music, but I guess the reason Girl Like You stood out to me was I wrote it with a #1 songwriter. I wrote it with my buddy Taylor Phillips, who's written Hurricane, Good As You, and Homesick. Luke Combs, Kane Brown. And so that was, to me, I was like, all right, this is a very radio song. I showed it to my guy who I was going to use for my production, Colt, and he loved it. And it was the first one that I felt like I liked and was sellable, if that makes any sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Everything else before that was, there was things that I liked, but I wanted to wait for the one that was going to do well, basically.
Yeah, dude. I totally get that. I mean, it has to be like, okay, I feel this one. I feel like this is going to be the one that's going to go out. No.
Well, too, whenever I started writing, like, I didn't know what a good song was. I would write a song then that I was like, oh, this is the one. But now, looking back on it, like 3 years later, I'd be like, oh, that was garbage. Like, you get better at things the more you do them, like anything, So I wanted to wait until I reached a certain threshold of quality, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you. I mean, you've been in Nashville, 3 years now? So you moved in 2018. Now, did you used to like kind of head down there a lot? Because I mean, Canada to Nashville, 7 hours, 6, 7 hours or so?
Right about 7. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, did you used to like just kind of do weekend trips real quick down and just kind of like stick your feet in the water a little bit and get the itch?
There was, I probably came down roughly 10 times before I moved. Within a couple years period of time. I would just come down here, it's funny looking back. I would come down here and I would find anyone that would let me hop up on stage and sing. I was probably a huge nuisance, but at the same time now, like, being one of those guys, like if a kid came and, like, what I would do is I would have like a preloaded picture on my phone of like me with a crowd behind me, like doing like a audience picture. I like one of my shows, and I'd just show that to them and be like, hey, can I hop up? And they'd always be like, yeah, of course. And now looking at that as somebody who does that on, like, who plays down there, like, I would do the same thing if some kid came up and was like, hey, I don't live here, but I want to, and you're doing what I want to do. So
some like young dreamer, dude, and just give them that first taste. I mean, because once you get that first taste, I mean, you're ready to go. I mean, I remember my buddy, he's playing Broadway now. I think he plays Mellow Mushroom. I don't know if you know the name. Evan Lee is his name. He does a lot with like Rock and Roll Basement and Josh Waters.
That sounds familiar.
All those guys. His first gig ever was at the Fiddle and Steel in Printer's Alley at some church choir event that I'm like, dude, hey, we're throwing this Eric Church choir event. Why don't you come down and play? And the minute he got on that stage, he's like, dude, I got to move here. And now he's playing down on Broadway and having a blast. I think his sister moved down and there's building their whole foundation down there. I love it because it's something where, hey, I got him down there for once and he got the itch and ran with it. So, and he's a hell of a talented dude, but you'll find him around Broadway.
That's like what everybody does too. When they, if they're musicians and they come here and they see, like, I mean, you hear about Nashville and you hear about Music City and that this is where you got to be if you're doing it, but I don't think you really get it until you come here and you see it firsthand and you see the level of skill that you can surround yourself with and hopefully draw from, and it's the number one place for me. I can't imagine myself anywhere else right now.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, dude, I love it. I was coming down about once a month for those songwriter events, and I was loving it. Dude, I was like, okay, I need to stop for a little bit because I'm gonna get that itch, and I'm gonna want to go down more and more. So I'm like,
hey, just get you a little summer house down here,
dude. I was already talking about like, dude, we gotta get a house or open an Airbnb, something.
Hey, there you go. Just get you a house, rent it out for Airbnb, and then whenever you want to come down, you just don't schedule it out for that weekend.
I was looking at stuff on Music Row because it's like I could rent something or get something on Music Row, rent it out as an Airbnb or something. So many people come through there all the time looking for places, like even like young songwriters or whatever. I was like, that'd be cool to have something.
That would be dope.
I don't know. We'll see what happens down the road.
Music Row, though, you better be ready to spend a couple million on a tiny little house.
Dude. I was looking and they're like 1 bedroom, 1 bath for like 400,000. I was like, what? Are you serious?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, it's insane.
So 2021, things are starting to open up here in June, this and that. Going into 2022, what's your plans, man? Do you think you're still going to ride the singles, or you working on anything like bigger, like EP, album, anything like that down the road?
So my original plan was to do a 5-song EP to get 3 singles out, and then do 2 in addition to those 3 and put it out as like a physical copy, but I've been leaning more towards just doing singles right now because it's just, to me, it's easier to promote. And like, I love doing these music videos. The music videos have been huge.
You're nailing
it. If you put out multiple songs, then it's like, how do you do the music videos for that? I mean, you might put out 2 or 3 songs at the same time, and then now you're backed up, 9 months on music videos. So I just think at my stage in my career, it's smarter for me to keep hammering these singles. I love the idea of doing an album someday. Yeah. But to me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to do unless you've got like a big following. Somebody like Morgan Wallen can drop a double album because he's got such loyal fans that they'll listen to that front to back. But somebody like me who drops 10 songs, 5 of those might get lost in the pipeline somewhere.
Unless you write like a project and like, oh, all right, this is something I could do over time, and that's a little different. But dude, like, I got pissed off at Eric Church this year, not even gonna lie, because of him dropping these one single. I was like, dude, just give me the damn album already. I want to hear it.
Oh well, yeah, absolutely.
Second or third one in, I stopped listening to him. I was like, all right, I'm not listening to no more of these singles until I have the album in my hand. I'm not doing it. And like, I like how you said at your stage of your career, because at his stage of his career, I don't think he should be dropping those singles left and right. I think we're ready for the album. We're going to be there for the album. But for you, I like how you're doing the singles and the videos, like hand in hand, because for one, like I said, you're nailing the videos. I mean, dude, I don't know who the hell's doing your videos or who's doing the production on them. That's phenomenal work on, like I said earlier, painting a picture, and just with like the little intros or like the girl, like, or with the Jeep and driving her home, and dude, everything about these videos is just.
Thank you. That's Andy Paulett. He's a genius. I've been fortunate to work with some really talented people, Andy being one of them. And I'm actually one of the very few independents on his roster. So I'm just holding on to him as long as I can. And I guess I could say it here first. I haven't told anyone else this, but we're shooting the Neon music video the second week of June. So that one will be coming hopefully July time. But he's so backed up, man. He's working with everybody from Luke Combs to Nico Moon to Cameron Marlowe to just you name it, he's working with them. Jimmy Allen, Ryan Hurd. So he did Old Dominion for the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
Dude, that's awesome work, dude.
Out on the road with Travis Tritt. Yeah, he's so
Damn.
pro, man. Yeah,
He's got to find time to do anything.
I don't think he does. I think he literally right now, at least in the last, I've seen it firsthand. Like when we shot Girl Like You, his schedule was pretty open. But for Sign Another Man, it was getting a little more busy. And then this one, it's like, it's been hard to figure out how to do it. But to me, there's just really no other option because he's that good. So I have to use him again. But yeah, he's a workhorse, man. And for me anyways, he keeps costs low. So, I mean, we got a good agreement. You know, this last one got almost 1.5 million views on YouTube now. So
my next note I have to bring up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how does it feel to have 1.5 mil on a video, man? I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah,
man. Another Man video, 1.5 million views is just phenomenal. If you guys have not seen it, YouTube link is in the show notes above. Click on it and check out this video after the show because it's awesome, dude. It's almost like a mini movie.
And honestly, that's what I wanted too. First of all, the song's kind of long. I think it's like 4 minutes or close to 4 minutes, and you just don't get that anymore, really. Back in the day, it was pretty common to have 4+ minute song, but most now it's 2.5 to 3:10. You know, that's about the sweet spot. So with a longer song too, I was like, all right, let's do kind of like just a little small video, you know, like a little movie type of thing, like Morgan Wallen did with 7 Summers. I don't know if you've seen that video, but I watched that around the time when we shot it, and I was like, dude, we should do something like this, you know. I even wanted to do like little breaks in this song and like have more story to it, but
yeah,
I'm glad that Andy talked me away from that because there's even people who have like commented on the video being like, hey, it took 2 minutes to get into the song and you lost me. And I was like,
I'll just send you something. So when Church did Springsteen, he had so much footage. He actually shot like a 20 to 30 minute mini movie that went along with Springsteen. He aired it once on CMT and then it went into an archive. It's called Mixtape. I got my hands on it though. So I'll have to send you a link to it. And it's really cool because if you ever have any extra footage or anything, don't know what to do with it, it'd be cool because you just throw it the way you put your music videos together. I mean, you could have, like you said, a continuation almost that would go into like a 20-minute like mini episode or something.
Yeah.
Especially
I would love that. Man, I love the music video shooting process so much.
Yeah.
If I could do that just constantly, if I could just keep releasing music but never stop doing music videos, that would be awesome. I'd love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's just so much fun. And maybe that's because it's the people I'm working with. But Andy and we get each other, man, like it's like magic whenever we get together and we talk about these concepts for these videos. It's like, I'll be like, yeah, and then we should do this thing. And be like, yeah. And then from that, we'll do this. And then it's like, we just back and forth. It's like great relationship. So yeah, like I said, I'm super blessed to have him on board.
Hell yeah, dude. That is awesome. So we briefly talked about, a little bit about it was like your influence being Eric Church. And I know in the intro I said a lot about like your songwriting and everything else reminded me of kind of his day. And I was kind of said Lightning, because if you look at Lightning and then you watch the music video, it goes hand in hand, I feel. And I love that about like the 3 songs we've heard of yours. And I cannot wait till we hear what else comes down the road. But for you, just kind of going over and watching his career, I mean, what has kind of stood out to you? What kind of made you an Eric Church fan to begin with, dude? I'm just kind of curious.
So let me just start by saying that I am an Eric Church fan, but you're going to school me on so much. I can't even compare to what you probably, the level of fandom that you have. You know, I'm an Eric Church fan, but I am definitely not limited by like country music for my inspiration. I'm all over the place with the music that I like. You know, growing up, like I said, I didn't even really listen to country music like actively until I was, 19 or 20 probably.
Yeah. I get that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the Beatles. I love Frank Sinatra. I love 90s rock. I'm huge on 90s rock.
Who's your 90s favorite? If you had to pick your 90s, like,
yeah, man, I don't know if I could pick a favorite. I could give you a handful though.
What Matchbox 20 song do you cover?
There we go. I do 3 a.m. I do Push, and
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was my go-to for a long time.
We had
Matchbox 20. I love Creed,
dude.
and a lot of people hate on me for that. But
Dude,
I like
I'm a
Creed.
Nickelback fan. I don't care what anybody says. I love me some
I like
Nickelback.
Nickelback
Sunday
too.
Afternoon, dude. Sunday Afternoon was one of my favorite songs by Nickelback. So
There's really no music that I don't like. I mean, I'm not a huge like death metal fan, but
yeah.
I find elements in all kinds of music that I like. But going back to your original question, what got me to be an Eric Church fan? Yeah, I was playing these like little acoustic gigs with this guy. Colin Greer is his name. Shout out Colin. And we were doing these little acoustic gigs in Peoria at Cam's on Farmington Road. I was probably 18. Definitely too young to be in the bar, but they like snuck me in. And I think they're paying me like $40 to play for like 4 hours. It was chump change, but I was doing it because I loved it. And I didn't have a lot of country in my set, but Colin did all country, and he did tons of Eric Church.
Oh yeah.
And I remember like, him playing like Smoke a Little Smoke and like Springsteen and Guys Like Me, and I was like, man, that sounds so good. It's just like the songwriting quality. And so from there, I just dove into Eric Church and hearing his story about how he kind of got his start and the way he kind of just said, screw you to the industry. And I love that about him. He seems very genuine, very authentic, and very like he's saying the things he wants to say, I guess that's kind of what got me.
And I feel like he kind of like how you already touched on, he really didn't care about genre. I mean, I don't feel like it's a lot of country. I mean, hell, his guitar player used to jam with Dimebag back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, so when you look at it, I feel like I have not seen you live, which I'm going to admit, the first time you come around, I'm going to see you live next time I can.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of it, when I do see you probably play a lot of the rock and everything else. And so you have a lot of that flavor to it too, because I think genres, never 5-10 years, I think genres really need to start just kind of fading out because there's so much different. Like, what is country music anymore? You listen to your 3 singles and is it pop? What is it? But I like the way your style is. And I don't feel like it shouldn't fit in any certain genre like Eric Church, because I want you to like come out and feel like, oh, hey, I could release this rock and country song, but I also hit them with Signed Another Man. So I love it, dude. All right, we're gonna go ahead.
No, you're good. I don't want to take too much time.
Let's move on to our next session of the thing. But if you got something to add, real quick, go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say a little bit more about what you just touched on, which is the genre as being so black and white. I agree. I don't think that we need to get too concerned about it. I guess it is important for reasons of like finding other things like what you want to hear. Like if you like Eric Church and you want to hear something like him, then that's when it's important. But
all these streaming apps like Apple Music that builds that for you, like they have your radio station now, like learn your favorite stuff, and it's like it almost blends it all together. Because like if I play Aaron Shriver's playlist or Aaron Shriver's station on Apple Music, dude, you might get like Eric Church to like Beach Boys or some Super Tramp to Aerosmith or something. Just some wild shit, right?
And I guess that's why.
Oh, Baby Shark. Yeah, you'll get Baby Shark too. Coming up, my wife's like Baby Shark. You'll get that too.
And I guess that's probably why my 3 singles have been so different. Girl Like You is a little bit on the poppy side. Sign Another Man's just a straight up country song, and then Neon's, I was kind of shooting at like a hearty, like Boots type of song. Yeah. I wanted something really, really rocking, and but a lot of people have figured out what they want their artistry to be like, and I guess that I don't 100% yet. I have so many different influences and so many different kinds of music I like that I'm just kind of doing whatever I like for now, and whatever I see that hits people and people cling on to, then maybe after like 5 singles I can lean into that more. But whenever I started this whole single release process, I told my producer, like, hey, I want to experiment. I want to do a pop song. I want to do a country song. I want to do a rockin' country song, and do some sing-alongs and stuff. But I don't want to be constrained to being like, all right, this is what I want to be like. I think it's just very limiting.
Because then you're going to get one type of people come out to your show, and that's another thing. Like I feel like Friday when I go see Church for the first time in almost 500 days. I mean, it's not just you have all different. It's like high school again. You got your one group here, your one group there, whatever. But you got everybody coming together and hanging out, and I love it, dude. It's just like, and you know how music is, dude. You check out the outside world the minute you get to a live event or something like that, and all that matters is right there. So
No doubt.
right.
No doubt.
We're gonna move to our next section. Pay the bills for like 20 seconds, and then we'll be right back to you. Let me go ahead and play that.
This episode is powered by Pod Decks. Pod Decks are unique interview questions and episode starting prompts in the palm of your hand. So whether you're a new podcaster or existing broadcaster looking to grow your audience and have more meaningful conversations, you're going to want to check out Pod Decks. Now, if you want to get 10% off your order right now, you can go to poddex.com and type in coupon code. What's the code?
Fast on Memphis.
Yes, that's the code. Check out poddex.com. Take your podcast to the next level.
The haunting ghost voice of my ex co-producer. I love that. All right, so Poddex is cool, like a little Cards Against Humanity card deck that I pulled a couple cards out earlier. Well, the one was, I figured you've done a lot of touring in a van. But when you're touring in a van, what's the best seat to sit in and why?
So I haven't done a ton of touring in a van. It's kind of weird. I toured a lot in a like Equinox, and then I jumped from that to a basically tour bus. So
it's nice.
Yeah. So I actually am really looking forward to getting a van. Right now I've been doing a lot of shopping. But I guess I can answer that question for like the bus, and that's an easy answer for me. It's my bunk. You can find me in my bunk for the entire ride because I don't drive that thing.
Hell yeah,
we usually don't have a driver with Blackjack Billy.
Mm-hmm.
We have in the past, but just to keep costs, logistically make sense. We just Jeff or my singer Noel drive, and they've asked me if I've ever wanted to drive, and I say absolutely not, because that thing is like a semi truck with a trailer on the back of it, and
oh no,
when you've got 3 other lives in your hands, that's too much for me. I'm not scared. If I was the only one in there, I'd definitely drive it, but no, it's like a rolling death trap. But something about sitting in that bunk back there, man, it just like rocks you like a baby. I can sleep so well in that thing.
It's like a little cradle, a little crib.
I love it, man. And if we got a 15-hour drive, I'll be in there for 12 hours.
Dude, that was awesome.
Get my laptop, load up some DVDs, and you won't see me unless we stop for gas.
Dude, that's awesome. So the second one is for you, what are some of the biggest challenges you face while being on tour?
Well, I would say the first thing that comes to mind would be taking care of yourself. I mean, you're sleep deprived, you're eating garbage constantly a lot of times because you're stopping at a gas station and that's what you got. So and then obviously the things that come with playing a show, you're drinking and you're partying and playing even a 90-minute set. At least with the Blackjack Billy boys, it's been like you're going at 100 miles an hour for 90 minutes, and it's exhausting. And then you stay up till 3 a.m. and then you wake up at noon to sound check the next day. And so taking care of yourself is, it's something that I need to definitely learn to do a little bit better, even with my own touring that I'm going to be doing. I need to just hire somebody to like babysit me and be like, hey, don't do that, do this. And then I guess one of the other things is like, you got to find guys that you get along with, because a lot of times it's hard to escape each other. You got to, alone time is a very important thing. It's like a relationship, really. Being in a band is like you're dating those other people. You got to have your personality types have to mesh up, and there's going to be things that get on your nerves. I'm sure I've got things that get on those guys' nerves, and you just got to live with it, and you get it. You know what it's like.
Yeah, I get it for sure, dude. I definitely know. My side hobby is a paranormal group I run around with, and we do like 4 or 5 locations a year, and we all travel together. So yeah,
Nice.
It's fun. I'm a history dude, so we go to these old like 1900 buildings and stuff, and I just love checking out the history of it. There's a jail we go to in Ohio. I think it was built in like 1895, and it's all original still. I love this stuff. Just being in there like 2 a.m. It's like, oh, it's a little eerie, but it's like, oh, this is cool too.
I bet you see some cool places though.
Oh, dude, yeah. We try to do 4 or 5 a year, and it's just fun just going to these different abandoned buildings and everything else, always getting permission and make sure it's like pay to play places, we call them. But
Sure.
it's good times, dude. It's definitely a good time. All right. So our next section is we call it the hot seat. It's going to be 60 seconds. I'm going to ask you 10 questions. The first thing that pops in your head, just go ahead and yell it out or say it out. First CD you ever owned?
Third Eye Blind.
Hell yeah. What's your hometown famous for?
What is my hometown famous? Boomer Grigsby, a football player that went to the NFL.
Hell yeah. What was the first concert you ever went to?
American English is a Beatles cover band.
Dude, hell yeah. I know they're American English around here. They play all the time, dude. Hell
Oh yeah.
The strangest thing you've ever seen in the middle of the road?
Wow. I don't know, a dead possum, I guess. I don't know.
That's a good one.
I can't think of anything.
I had Ryan Nelson on. He said naked guy, so I don't know where he was. I think he
Wow.
probably was a naked guy.
He probably was. Yeah, I saw
What's the
Ryan
one-
2 days ago.
There you go. What's the one song you wish you wrote?
Oh man. Cover Me Up, Jason Isbell.
Hell yeah, dude. What's one thing people buy that you think is a waste of money?
Ouija boards.
There you go. All right. Cleanest bathroom you've ever found on the road?
Love's gas stations are almost always pretty spot on.
All right. What's the most annoying bill you have to pay?
The one that I don't know what it is from Apple Music from Apple that comes in, it's always $10.99 a month. I don't know what it's for. I have no idea. I still haven't canceled it.
All right, you're in a grocery store. You're going to take 3 items to the cashier to make her feel uncomfortable. What 3 items are you taking up there?
An eggplant and 2 tangerines.
Hell yeah, dude. That's been the best one yet. All right, dude. So everything you got to do with Blackjack Billy, the first 3 singles have been phenomenal. What's something that's still on your bucket list that you want to achieve, man, in your career?
Oh man, I want to play a big show for my own artistry, like my own solo thing. You know, I said that I played some big shows with Blackjack Billy, and I got my feet wet for sure. But I'm excited to do that myself. I'm actually going down to PCB this week, doing like a battle of the band style competition. Winner gets to play main stage on Sunday at the Gulf Coast Jam, so it'll be like 20 to 30,000 people. So fingers crossed that
dude
we get to do that, because I mean it's amazing playing for that amount of people, no matter what you're doing, whether it's bass or you're playing the triangle, you know, whatever it is. But I've never gotten to like own a crowd myself. That's that big.
Yeah.
So
dude, this is gonna be awesome. All right.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm gonna follow along with this. You got to post on social media and let me know how far.
Oh man, if I win, you'll definitely be here.
Yeah, I'm in your corner rooting for you on this one. This is gonna be badass. This is gonna be badass. So, all right, guys. So we talked about a couple of songs, and that's gonna be our next segment. We're gonna go into Neon. Tell me a little bit about kind of where this song came from.
Yeah, so I wrote it with my buddies Andrew Capra and Ryan Robinette. You know, I was just sitting in bed one night. And that's when a lot of my song titles come to me, is when I'm laying in bed at like 12:30. And I was just thinking about different like country themes, and I was thinking about like neon, like, you know, the neon lights. And it's been so overdone. You know, everybody's written the songs about neon, and I was trying to think of a way that was clever, that was not really done yet. And I was just thinking about neon, like phonetically sounding like putting your knee on the ground. So I was like, that's cool, but how do we make that work? And I kind of had a rough idea going into the right, but Andrew and Ryan helped me iron out basically the tagline of, since that night in the neon, knew I'd put my knee on the ground. And I think it's a very relatable thing to, you know, a lot of people have experienced that. At least I've heard a lot of people say like, yeah, I met her in the bar that night and I knew right then and there that I was going to, you know, spend the rest of my life with her. So I thought that was just a cool sentiment to kind of target.
Dude, that is awesome. All right, well, yeah, if you're ready, I'll go ahead and give you the stage, and
yeah, let's do it.
Go ahead and hide me real quick, and there you go.
See what I got right here.
Yeah. All right.
All right. You wore an Alabama tee, sipping on a drink. I bet my paycheck that you got for free. We were rolling with the tide, throwing our fives when I scored your digits that night. And by the time the lights came up, you had this boy falling in love. And there was 2 kids in a pickup, long nights we lit up, just getting started when the sun went down. Whoever knew that you can make the thing last? It started somewhere in a bar downtown. It's one of those things that you just can't explain, but felt it when you first came around. Since that night in the neon, knew I put my knee on the ground. As summer flew on by, with you by my side, I was dreaming about the future and what it'd be like to save a couple plans, 'cause getting started when the sun went down. Whoever knew that you can make a thing last? It started somewhere in a bar downtown. It's one of those things that you just can't explain, but I felt it when you first came around. Since that night in the neon, knew I put my knee on the ground. Knew I put my knee on the ground. 'Cause here we are now, family and friends, yeah, they're all gathered around. And got your daddy's blessing, and I ain't second guessed it. Since it was 2 kids in a pickup, long nights we lived up, just getting started when the sun went down. Whoever knew that you can make a thing last? It started somewhere in a bar downtown. It's one of those things that you just can't explain, but I felt it when you first came around. Since that night in the neon, knew I put my knee on the ground. Since that night in the neon, knew I put my knee on the ground. Knew I put my knee on the ground. Knew I put my knee on the ground.
Dude, I love that. I'm following along on my phone, so I'm watching like the live feed, and it actually gives you the captions. I love it because I can actually see the lyrics.
Nice. That's
Yes,
pretty cool.
I'm like watching the lyrics. I was actually looking for the lyrics for that song earlier. I'm like, man, I almost want to. I like following along. I like the first
Yeah, something that I realized,
stuff.
there's a lot of people who like will tag me in videos of them singing it and they're singing the
Mhm.
wrong words.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm
I see
like,
a lot
I
of
should
artists
probably
do lyric videos, and I'm
yeah,
like,
I should probably
that's
do a
pretty
lyric
long.
video for this one. It's I think that a lot of the message is getting lost in like that tagline. And not a lot of people
Yeah.
know that it's since that night in the neon, knew I would put my knee on the ground, basically.
Yeah.
And I think that it's important for people to get that. So I'm thinking about maybe doing a lyric video for it.
Yeah, I think, yeah, dude, that's why I was loving like watching along with the captions. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
cool. This is fun. Dude, I love that one. But the next one,
Thank you.
is one I want to talk about real quick, is kind of what brought me to you. And for me, I feel like it's a song that really has never been written. I heard it took about 7 hours to write this song, which is crazy. I would think it took like 7 days or something. But the artistry and the lyrics that got put into this, where did this song come from? Whose idea was it? And how badass is it like to be the guy, even though you lost her and you guys may realize you're better friends or something, but now you're tipping off the next guy, like, hey man, this is what she likes and everything else. I know it ain't me anymore, but this is helping you out or something like that. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah, it's I think that's one of the hardest things to do is after a breakup to have that mentality. I've had a lot of people on, with 1.5 million views on the video, you're gonna have some haters, and I've had some people be like, "Bro, are you really gonna write that guy a note? Are you really like, are you, I guess the kids call it a simp. They call it like, you know, but you know, if I put myself in that situation, I don't know that I'm writing that guy a note. I don't know if I am, but it's more of a sentiment than anything. It's just not having bad blood after a relationship
Yeah.
because it's just like it's a stigma, you know. It's an expectation, like a social expectation that once you break up with somebody, you're
Mhm.
not friends anymore. And if they get with somebody else, you hate their guts. And if you see them out, then you're fighting them or, you know, shooting them dirty looks or whatever. And it's just like, why is that? You know,
Mhm.
we wanted to write a song that was a breakup song, but kind of challenged the notion of that you have to be enemies after a breakup.
Yeah.
So
It's like you're designed to hate the ex or like dislike the ex all the
yeah,
time. And I mean, you're on the opposite end of like, well, what if you don't? I mean, what if it's not and you're helping out the ex or something like that?
it's
It's kind of a cool job. I mean, it's kind of cool in a way, I think.
yeah, you know, it is. We just wanted to challenge that idea, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, I haven't had a breakup yet that's resulted that way, but I think it would be, you know, nice to.
You're gonna get a story one day where someone's gonna talk about that song and what it did, and like a guy's gonna do that one time.
Man,
It's gonna get back to you, and it's gonna just be like this coolest story ever.
already have, man.
Did you see
Honestly,
it? Yeah.
oh, just go to YouTube, man. I go to that video and just scroll through the comments.
All right,
There is an unbelievable amount of people that have been like, "Hey,
dude.
this song is really helping me through this tough time that
Yeah,
I'm going through,"
I
and
can see it. I can
that's
see the song
honestly that's the
changing.
reason. That's why we do it, man. Like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So
Well, that's why I compare you to church, dude, because like this song, like the minute I heard it, I was just like, holy shit, these lyrics. And I mean, the way it was hidden the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, okay, damn, all right. And I was into this song, dude, the minute I heard it because I didn't even have to see the music video off the bat. Like I already had the video in my head. And it was
thank
just
you,
so
man.
cool the way that song was just painting that picture.
And that's absolutely how we wrote it too. You know, it took us 7 hours to write it. It was 2 sessions, and the first session was just talking about the idea. We never even wrote a lyric. We might have ended that session with a title, "The Sign of Another Man." I don't even know if we had that. We might have just had the concept of like, hey, let's write it from the perspective of the ex being in the bar with the new guy, and
Oh,
like how that would be, you know, different from every other song, basically. So
yeah. Well, I'll give you the stage again, man. I
yeah.
can't wait. All right, guys, here's Sign of Another Man. Oh, God, you guys are going to like this one if you've not heard it yet. I promise.
Hey bartender, can I borrow that pen? I got a list of things I need to get down on this napkin. She's been going out with somebody new, and he's sitting there drinking a beer across from me and you. If you could pass this along with his next drink, but don't tell him it's from me. She likes movies in black and white, summer rain and red wine. And she needs someone who knows how to make her smile. She talks to her mama on the phone about babies and country homes, and how someday she'll want one of her own. So love her the best way that you can, beside another man. Hey bartender, thanks for helping me out. It wasn't easy for me to get these words down. And he's sitting there reading what I wrote. And I know that she'll be better off, 'cause now he knows she likes movies in black and white, Summer rain and red wine. And she needs someone who knows how to make her smile. She talks to her mama on the phone about babies and country homes. Yeah, how someday she'll want one of her own. So love her the best way that you can. Beside another man. I couldn't fit everything on this note. It's just a few things I think you should know. She likes movies in black and white, summer rain and red wine. And she needs someone who knows how to make her smile. She talks to her mama on the phone about babies and country homes. And how someday she'll want one of her own. So love her the best way that you can. And be everything I can beside another man. Beside another man.
Dude. Dude. So if y'all have never seen that music video, go watch it right now. I don't care. Just leave right now and go watch it.
And it'll sound way better if you listen to it on YouTube. Because I have allergies and I'm suffering through. So thanks for being with me, guys.
Allergy season right now is kicking my ass too.
Brutal, man. I haven't had a voice in like 2.5 weeks. I've had to cancel gigs and man, it's been rough.
Oh man, it's just been. I saw. I'm a big Ken Bryan fan too. And I saw he had to cancel a couple because of his allergies. I'm like, yeah, dude, there's outrageous right now. But
man, nothing you can do about it if you don't have a voice.
No, I agree. I definitely agree. So before we wrap up with you and before and move on, but dude, this has been fun. I almost up. I've had fun on this one.
We've not been able to see you though. I wish I would have figured something out so I could see you.
Yeah,
you'll look back on it the whole time.
You'll look back on it. You'll see, man, he's posted some embarrassing ass photos of me. I had a couple of you. I think it was like high school basketball or something.
Oh no! Oh no!
You'll have some fun. It was always fun. Yeah, I like showing the journey on these shows. So it's
yeah, that's cool, man.
All right, well, we're gonna get you back in about 15 minutes for the after show. But before we let you go, man, you got any final words or anything to wrap up?
Just keep on the lookout for Neon music videos coming out very soon, and we're gonna be hitting you guys with some more new music this summer too. So keep on the lookout for that.
And last but not least, dude, best of luck this weekend to you. I
thank you, brother.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna have a damn good weekend.
I think I'm gonna have to go get one of those steroid shots in the arm to get me through it.
Yeah, right.
My voice back,
dude. We might just have that little bit of rasp, but this might win somebody over.
Hey,
you never know.
You never know.
All right, dude. Well, hey, go ahead and take about 15 minutes. Click that same link in in about 15 minutes or so to bring you back on. And we'll do 2 more. And before we let you go. All right, dude.
Sounds great, brother.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, dude, thank you. All right, so let's get you back. Oh. Do that. Sorry. What's up? How'd you have fun tonight?
Yeah.
That was a good one.
It was very good.
If I didn't have somewhere
very good. I sound like I'm
if I didn't have somewhere to be like a little bit, I'd be like, damn, we need to keep on going.
Oh, I know.
Or we'd have to be up early in the morning. We are headed to Oklahoma in the morning. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. See everybody on Friday. But y'all, if you guys tuned into this one, thank you. If not, make sure you rewind, go back, whatever you got to do. Rewind. It's like the 80s and 90s again. Be kind, rewind over here, Blockbuster and shit.
Did you say rewind?
Rewind.
Rewind.
Yeah, whatever. That's how it goes. Yeah, but dude, this guy, I think we caught him right before he blows up. Clayton's gonna be huge. I love spending some time talking with him tonight, but Go check out his first 3 singles. If it's anything what's to come, I'm telling you, this guy's just going to be the next big thing. But thank you guys for joining us tonight on episode 86 with Clayton Shay. It's just, wow, what a journey he's been on. And I feel like I said, it's only getting started. I can't wait to see what he accomplishes in 2021, what brings him on. But yeah. So next week, we're going to have a good one. Yeah. You ready?
Papa Shango.
That's going to be a good one next week.
I just wanted to say that.
You wanted to say that? I'll have you say it next week.
Papa Shango. Okay.
See y'all next week.
The Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver is brought to you by Arlo Revolution. As we close the book on another chapter, remember, music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. Next week, Aaron connects more melodies and memories with other fans and the artists they love. Thanks for being a part of this musical journey, and we'll see you next time on the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver.